Lijo Jose Pelliceri's latest cinematic expedition Churuli is yet another mind-bending fable that leaves you astounded for the longest time ever. Churuli stands for labyrinth, a maze, a complicated irregular network of passages and paths in which it becomes difficult to find one's way. This is the exact nature of this film's narrative. It is indeed a maze. But the beauty of this maze resembles with the beauty of cinema. Just like how a story can be perceived in various ways, the maze of Churuli can be solved with different methods. This open ended nature of the film's concept allows the audience to experience the series of events by applying different interpretations. So, keeping this in mind, let me present my two interpretations of Churuli, and you can present yours in the comments. After all, what can be a better topic than cinema to begin a conversation, right? Anyways, so here's my first interpretation or explanation of this film. The forest, the entire natural surrounding which is introduced to the audience, is an allegory for the present, the world that we live in right now. And it is not a happy place anymore. From the outside, it looks all sprawling, fertile, peaceful, heavenly. But from the inside, it is shrinking, barren, hostile, and rotting like hell. An immeasurable destruction of the natural world is being orchestrated by man since time immemorial. God created water, trees, plants, and animals, and then gave birth to man, who can cherish all these natural treasures. Man was supposed to acknowledge, protect, and utilize these gifts of nature for his survival. Man was supposed to maintain peace and tranquility in this world. But none of this become a reality, right? Utilization has turned into exploitation. Togetherness has shrunken down to staying aloof. Friends have become the biggest enemies. Trust has been taken over by treachery. Honesty has been taken over by corruption. The concept of brotherhood is just a joke. There is greed, malice, and hatred residing in the heart of man. Nobody wants to help. Nobody wants to care. Man just wants to drench himself in the aroma of wine and money. The great grand plan of God was to make this world a beautiful place. But it won't be wrong to say that man continues to fail the Almighty. He still has the fear of God, but the true nature of his devotion seems to be hollow. The biblical exposition of how everything was created and the evolutionary relationship between man and nature has become a recurring theme in the films of Lijo Jose Pelliceri, and Churuli is no different than his previous cinematic ventures, especially when it comes to the cinematography. We witness the heavy usage of wide-angle shots in the entire film. You will hardly find a close-up. Now for the wide-angle shots, the frame will either remain static or the camera will have some movement. If you notice carefully, the camera is always placed behind something for a static wide-angle shot. It can be the trees, bushes, leaves, or a window. There is always going to be a layer through which the camera will capture the scene. In a couple of shots, we see a creative way of adding that layer in front of the camera. This technique is called adding a sense of depth in the frame. Then we have the wide-angle tracking shots in which the camera points straight towards the characters. And for these tracking shots, we don't see anything placed between the camera and the character because the front and back movement of the Steadicam is creating that sense of depth. In the context of the narrative, this filmmaking technique for both the static and tracking shots creates a feeling of being observed all the time. Every movement of the character is being noticed by someone hiding in plain sight. Now if we go back to this scene, we realize that how the feeling of being noticed is directly related to this particular dialogue. Secret police is like mongrels in the fish market. No one must notice us, but we must notice everything. These two undercover officers enter Churuli under the same impression. But what happened next was the exact opposite. Since we are now focusing on dialogue, let me share how I arrived at my conclusion of the forest being represented as hell. I think the answer lies in the dialogues, which I realized only after watching Churuli for the second time. Let's look at them one by one and see how they hint towards the same. In this shot, When the police officers reach the spot where the jeep is parked, the senior officer, Anthony Chetan, says that this looks like a ride to hell. Now, while they wait for others, the officers get a feeling that this area is filled with humble and polite farmers. But the moment they cross the bridge, everyone starts behaving rudely with them, to which Anthony says, "Looks like a different place, Shajiva." They get down at a small arak shop. Once again, they are not greeted with kindness. Anthony starts to mingle with everyone easily, but that's not the case with Shajiva, who doesn't seem to have any vices. No alcohol, no showing of the PC card while boarding the bus. The audience has repeatedly hinted towards him being a good Samaritan. Now, while everyone else enjoys eating and drinking the arak, we notice the sound of the foley getting amplified to draw our attention towards the possibly nefarious nature of these guys. I think this has been done to introduce the audience to the unpleasant, loathsome, and repulsive atmosphere of this place. These feelings of disgust begin to intensify in the upcoming scenes when we realize how everyone living in Churuli is a sinner. Everyone here has committed a series of crimes. The monstrous nature of this place gets solidified with the help of this dialogue between Shajiva and Philip. Don't worry, the police won't come here, and even if they do, they won't leave in peace. It will be hard. This is no ordinary land, my son. Once again, we are getting a reference of Churuli being a place equivalent to hell, a place where law and order doesn't mean anything to anyone. Talking about law and order, these two police officers later engage in a conversation which acts like a social commentary on how the protectors of law cannot choose to catch every criminal out there. They take an example of Sukumaran Kurup and explain how the world remembers the bad guys till the time they are caught. Anyways, moving on, we come across a lot more scenes where the characters continue to drench themselves in the taste of arak, share their excitement for feasting on animals, engage in competitions by betting on folks who have the maximum muscle power, and of course, making sure that they don't lose even a single penny. In short, leaving no doubts about how this place is nothing less than hell. And to summarize the true nature of this place, we have this dialogue from Saubin Shah's character Joy, who explains about how the protectors of law became fond of the mist and cold of the forest. They settled in this place and started putting on fat by eating wild meat and drinking arak. There are a lot of options for all kinds of entertainment. No limits, no questions asked. Churuli became their paradise. They got so attached to this place that ultimately they ended up forgetting who they truly were. It is because now they have become an unremovable part of this mess. They have fallen into a dreary and unfathomable abyss that has consumed their morality, a never-ending spiral of malice that has continued to imprison the nobility of those who wish to save the world from becoming as miserable as hell. This explains the significance of this spiral that has been used as a motif. But what about these shots? What can possibly be the meaning of these visuals? To answer this, let me share my second interpretation of the plot, which is directly related with my first interpretation. My second interpretation is that Churuli looks like a cinematic retelling of Dante's Divine Comedy, mainly Dante's Inferno. Dante's Inferno talks about Dante's journey of crossing the 9 circles of hell with the eminent Roman poet named Virgil in a mythical dark wood. The narrative of Churuli seems to include a lot of references from Dante's Inferno. Just like Dante and Virgil's journey through the 9 circles of hell, we have our two characters, Antony and Shajiva, entering the world of Churuli. Since these 9 circles in Dante's poems are concentric, we find a similar reference in the film that has been used as a visual motif. These 9 circles of hell are limbo, lust, gluttony, greed, anger, heresy, violence, fraud, and treachery. Now, except for limbo, we see all the characters except Antony and Shajiva, the Dante and Virgil of this story, behaving in a way that represents a circle of hell. Even the nature of their dialogue is representing a circle of hell. According to Dante's Inferno, after crossing the last circle of hell, which is treachery, Dante and Virgil reach in the center of hell where they meet the fallen angel Lucifer. In the case of Churuli, Antony and Shajiva meet Joy. And since Lucifer was trapped in ice, Joy is similarly trapped due to his paralysis. His movement is completely restricted. Now here we see all the three characters flying towards this humongous moon-like object that acts as a gateway to a place where numerous souls of sinners are trapped, and only one of them gets the chance to attain salvation. This is not related to Inferno, it's my own theory. But what seems to be another reference to Inferno are these two scenes where Shajiva encounters two of those souls wandering in the forest, just like how Dante and Virgil would see many souls while crossing the 9 circles of hell. Churuli is indeed a mind bender. It will force you to think twice about everything that you witness. Lijo Joe Pellicheri once again brings a memorable film that will remain a part of conversation amongst cinema aficionados for the longest time. These were my thoughts about Churuli, and now I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. The comment section is open for discussion, guys. And if you liked my efforts, you can show your support for the channel by liking this video, hitting the red subscribe button and pressing the bell icon so that you don't miss any updates. My name is Porush. I will see you soon in the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Long live cinema.